Islam, let's take a look at some work here. Charles Oliveira, as you expect, was under pressure. He pulled guard round one, but in round two, you had to stand with him. Is this what you expect?
Belts, two weight class defense the belts, break all records. What you have now?
Brother, today and there you look fat. You look fat at welterweight, brother. Oh, wait, maybe he's not fat. My God. Let's go. Congratulations, dude. Very good point.
All this you talk, it's okay. You make sure you back it up. No, I know. No, I don't know. Whatever story you made up about meeting me, I've never encountered that story. You know that, right? Okay? Listen, you're a good fighter. Show up, keep winning, and you can do anything. Does that make sense? You got massive fights in this division. You got me, you got Patches, you got Islam. Show up and fight. Does that make sense? You're an animal. You're strong. Does that make sense? I don't know about any story where I've met you and I've chat shit to you. You know that? In this sport, if people talk, I ignore. Does that make sense? You're a good fighter. You're young. You're strong up here. That means you can do anything. Does that make sense? Spread good. Do good. You knock people out. You beat people up. That's what gets respect. Does that make sense? You make sense? Yeah? Got you. And still.
Woo!
I'm not going to stop for 10 minutes. Yes, my lord. This is for Alan, baby. Daddy didn't win tonight, but I make sure I represent my friends, okay? All the best. Hey, see you later, guys. Well, Mike, here comes.
Khabib was in Islam's corner. There's a little bit of footage as well of him putting the gloves on. So maybe a chance you could have another little conversation with him about thinking about doing one more.
Khabib? Yeah, I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
Not even worth the chat, no?
Listen, when he was trying to retire, I was all over that fucking guy. You know, I don't think you'll get him back now. Plus, he's got to weigh like 225 or something. Yeah. He's got a good life. I don't think he's looking to fight anymore.
Speaking of people with...
And before this fight also, I give my approval to fight in White House. It's long story why I'm not there, but I told beginning of the summer, I want to fight. I call Ali, I call everybody, I want to fight. But it's not something I chose and I make, you know.
Well, what is the long story?
Because Ali called me and say, hey, you want to fight White House with Ilia Tapuria? I say yes, and I'm never asked. They offer me good money, and next day Ali say it's not happen. And I don't know. Just see what his manager said. He said we offer the fight, we ask some money, they don't give us. That's why we chose. Maybe Ali know all story, bro. He will take it.
Breaking down the UFC 330 main event, Max Holloway believes Ian Gary is being underestimated by fans and expects the challenger to have early success using his reach and distance management, noting that the first 2 rounds are likely to be very competitive. If Gary can bank those early rounds and frustrate the champion, the blueprint for a potential upset could start taking shape. For Gary, this isn't just about making it competitive. It's about proving that his underrated style can hold up against the sport's best.
And the main event of the evening, we got Islam Makhachev versus Ian Machato Gary, guys. This fight is super fun, guys. A lot of people are giving Ian no shot, which is blowing my mind. I think this is going to be a way more competitive fight than people think. I think early on, it's 5 rounds. Early on, I think so in the first 2 rounds, I think so Islam is going to have problems with Ian's reach, just trying to figure him out. At the end of the day, the longer the fight goes on, Islam only gets stronger. I think so if Islam can get his hands on him, Islam can drag him down, and we're just going to see a vintage Makhachev victory, you know.
When asked for his full prediction on the main event, Max Holloway expects Makhachev to take over in the later rounds and secure a submission or dominant top control, predicting a vintage champion performance from the 3rd round onward. Holloway's assessment is grounded in the reality of how Makhachev's fights typically unfold. The champion absorbs early pressure, finds his rhythm, and gradually imposes his will as the fight progresses. Against a fighter like Gary, who relies on movement and range, Holloway believes Makhachev's pressure will eventually close the distance and neutralize the challenger's length.
And it's just going to be vintage Makhachev, you know that vintage fight style. Get on top, drag him out, maybe a submission, maybe not, maybe just on top and just smothering and beating him down. But the first 2 rounds is going to be very hard. You know, Islam has a hard time with guys at range sometimes, guys that know their distance, guys that can kind of keep their distance. Ian is that good. Don't be surprised if Ian defend a couple of takedowns in the first 2 rounds. You know, I think so. Later on the rounds, Islam, Makhachev is just going to wear Ian down and take it over from the 3rd round on. You know, I think we have an end still, and that's the way I'm leaning, guys.
Meanwhile, Teddy Atlas has seen this movie before. A striker with something to prove steps in against a grappler who's been dominating the division. The odds are lopsided. Makhachev is a 4-1 favorite, and Gary is the plus 300 underdog. Atlas doesn't argue with the line. He's seen Makhachev's grappling up close. The pressure, the control, the way he smothers opponents. He calls the champion an exceptional grappler and a monster on the mat. Gary's path to victory is narrow. Keep the fight standing, use his reach, and don't let Makhachev get close. But that's easier said than done against a fighter who's made a career out of closing the distance.
Yeah, listen, Makhachev is a monster on the mat. I mean, he could strike good too. He's solid, but he's a monster on the mat. I mean, when, you know, he's like, I mean, even a higher level, I guess, but Oliveira to me is a monster on the mat. Oliveira is a complete guy. I love Oliveira, real veteran, legend, Hall of Famer. But Makhachev on that floor, he's at a different level. But I look at film, and I notice Gary did a pretty damn good job with the machine.
While most are focused on Makhachev's grappling, Teddy Atlas is looking at what Gary can do to neutralize it. He believes Gary's physical tools, his height, reach, and kicks are the key to controlling the distance. But the real question is takedown defense. Atlas points to the Belal Muhammad fight as evidence that Gary has the capability. If he can replicate that against Makhachev, the fight stays standing. If he can't, the grappling advantage will be too much. For Gary, the blueprint is simple. Survive the takedowns and let the striking do the rest.
And if you have a guy like Gary, who's that tall, and he's explosive, he's very athletic, my God, with his kicks, he really is. He's like acrobatic sometimes for that kind of height, that kind of physical, those, as I said, those physical gifts that he has of being tall and long. He's rangy, but he's athletic with it. And when I watch him, he's got the ability to control distance because of those physical assets and his kicks.
Echoing that sentiment, the stylistic breakdown of this fight reveals a stark contrast. Ian Gary's high-level striking and proven takedown defense against a genuinely unique, multi-layered grappling problem he has never faced before. While Gary has shown he can frustrate opponents by staying on the feet, stopping 15 of 17 takedowns from elite wrestlers like Shavkat Rakhmonov and Belal Muhammad Makhachev presents a different kind of challenge entirely. Makhachev's chain wrestling, relentless pressure, and ability to transition seamlessly from single-leg attempts to body locks to submissions represent the pinnacle of the Dagestani grappling style, which has broken some of the best fighters in the sport.
For Ian Gary, but what he is about to face in Islam Makhachev is like nothing he has ever seen. Nothing. And I thought, you know what, maybe the height difference would be a big factor in this fight, and maybe it will be. Ian Gary has a height, reach, and I'm assuming leg reach discrepancy on Islam Makhachev that Islam has never seen. Not even close. So yes, this is going to be a completely different thing for Ian Gary to be facing Islam Makhachev, not only because of the stylistic matchup. Has he seen something similar maybe with Shavkat Rakhmonov? But Islam is a unique blend of grappling and striking. I said this in a video, but Ian Gary has great takedown defense. Now, once he gets taken down, his ability to get back up, I think, is being overestimated, especially when you're talking about Islam Makhachev, who is not Habib level expert in the top ground position, but very, very good.
Stepping back to look at the game plan, Gary's path to victory hinges on his ability to keep the fight at range, avoiding the clinch at all costs, and using his reach and kicking game to prevent Makhachev from closing the distance and starting his grappling chains. His length is one of his greatest assets in this matchup, and he will need to weaponize it fully, using the jab, teeps, and kicks to keep Makhachev on the outside and discourage him from shooting or stepping into the pocket. And circling back to the broader point, Gary's ability to impose his striking game while staying disciplined in his defensive movements will be the difference between a competitive fight and a dominant grappling display from the champion.
I feel like we have that conversation a lot, but Ian, I would think, would look for low kicks, the stomp to the knee that he did versus Shavkat, these different leg attacks to try to, get Islam to, one, stay at range, two, not be so aggressive with his grappling exchange and with him trying to look for single legs, knee taps, high crotch, anything that he can get close to Ian, body lock, and then initiate grappling from there. Being able to utilize his kicks more than just his boxing, because Jack Della Maddalena in the Islam fight, more of a boxing-first fighter, and Islam was able to take advantage of that. Ian's going to have a lot more range, a lot more weapons at that range. The high kicks will be there. The knees up the middle could potentially be there for Ian Gary. All of those things to try to thwart Islam's grappling. Now, here's where Islam's a different beast. He's not Hamzat. He's not some of these, not Habib, where, they dive from way long range to get to the legs. Islam can strike, and he can do so with kicks, he can do so with his punches, and he can do so in the clinch. He's very, very crafty in his clinch.
At the UFC 330 ceremonial weigh-ins, Islam Makhachev and Ian Machado Gary had one last intense exchange before their welterweight title fight. The tension escalated when the two squared up. Gary attempted to rattle the champion by reminding him of the stakes. In a clip from the event, Gary was heard saying, "This is it, brother. Everything's on the line. All the records, everything. Are you ready? The biggest fight." Makhachev, however, immediately swatted down the remark with the icy reply, "It's not the biggest." Gary continued to press, "Yeah, but everything you did is on the line." Stepping back from the final outcome, UFC 330 delivered a main event that will be talked about for years to come, with the Philadelphia crowd witnessing a high-stakes welterweight title clash where legacy and future trajectories hung in the balance. And circling back to the bigger picture, this fight was a reminder of why combat sports captivate us. The tension, the uncertainty, and the sheer unpredictability of two elite athletes putting everything on the line. While the outcome may have been clear to some, the journey to get there was anything but predictable, and the aftermath will spark debates about what comes next for both fighters, where they rank in the division, and who might be waiting in the wings to challenge the victor. That wraps up our coverage of UFC 330. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.